Thanks for joining us. Megan and Milo here in his nap afternoon. And we've got a practice for you that is simple somatic for the psoas. And this is a release or a hydration for the psoas. But as you do this practice, I want you to think not of doing an exercise or even a mobility drill, or certainly not stretching. Think of it like you're taking your psoas on a date. So let's get started with the date by starting on our right side body. And if you like a pillow or something underneath your head, go ahead and grab it. I'm going to put my arm right underneath me, keeping it simple. We'll just lay on the right side and we land on our right side. Let the right side of the body receive the ground. Do any wiggling so you can find comfort and safety. Psoas responds to both. And then locate yourself through your left side. You might even place your hand on your left rib cage. So the psoas has an intimate connection with your diaphragm, and they both connect to the 12th vertebrae in your backside. So we'll just acknowledge this space. Think about the center of the spine. See if you can breathe in a way that you're moving your left rib cage. Breathing into your left hand, feel the rising up. Breathing out and letting it relax. So we have to start softly with the date, just picking yourself up, saying hello, and acknowledging psoas on the left side. So it would be attaching again to the 12 vertebrae, and then going down, it attaches through the front of all 5 of your lumbar vertebrae and your low back, comes through the front of the pelvis, and then attaches to your inner thigh, to the lesser trochanter. But for you, just visualize these long, strong, powerful muscles and let them know that today is about pleasure and release, relaxation and joy. A few more breaths into the left side. And then you'll want to have some sort of slippery surface. If you've got carpet, it's okay. But you can also put some socks on if you need to. And you're going to take your left foot, extend your right leg so it's out of the way. Take your left foot so the big toe side of the foot is on the ground. We call this one the psoas slide. And then just start to slide your knee towards you and away from you. Or away from Milo and towards Milo. Go really slow. Let the weight of the foot be supported by the ground and the weight of the leg. So right now we're doing flexion of the hip, which involves psoas. The psoas needs to shorten in order to help make this movement. Just see how that feels for your body. So this is also an assessment. So you do this left side first, then we'll see if the right side feels different. Because oftentimes one side needs the date more than the other. Take a few more slides just like that. And then we're going to change it just slightly. So instead of just sliding the knee towards you, as you're sliding towards you, I want you to think of lifting the inner knee or getting the pinky toe side of the foot to the ground. So you'll notice you won't be able to come as close. That's okay. And then again, slide it away. So slide it towards you and slide it away. I'm going to make some space here so I don't hit Milo. So if you're still coming towards you, work just as hard to get that pinky toe down. So what we're doing is we're externally rotating the thigh bone. That's another move that psoas can help with, is that external rotation. So we're making it work a little bit first. And then in addition to this slide, you can add your breath. If you're adding your breath, do the exhalation towards you, and the inhalation, you might take your leg and go all the way back and start to stretch the front of the thigh a little bit. Exhale, foot to the ground, draw it towards you. Inhale, extend through the hip flexors, the knee, reach back. So feel the front of the thigh get long. Exhale, slide it towards you. The other thing I sometimes add is just my head watching this. So imagine your skull is trying to follow your foot, and then your foot is following your skull. Just keeping your neck relaxed. I have to pay attention or I cheat and I slide it towards me without lifting it up. Notice any tension or tightness on this side where you feel that. Going really slow. And one more round of this beautiful slide. Just getting to know each other, your left psoas. And then relax. Stack your knees together, and it might feel good just to make some circles through the hips. Stir your left hip around a little bit. And pause. Notice any residue in the left side, anything you still feel in that left side. And then we're going to be switching sides. But before we do, just roll on to your backside and take both legs long. Just take even just 10 seconds just to assess the two sides. Feel your left hip and your right hip. Sense the middle of the back. Just noticing any differences. Does your left leg feel longer, shorter, heavier, lighter? And then taking your time, you're going to roll onto your left side. Here I come, Milo. I'm going to use my arm as a pillow, but you're welcome to put a pillow or a blanket underneath your left cheek and ear. Just letting your knees stack first. And the left side of the body receiving gravity, landing on your left side. Pause to feel the landing, and then locate yourself through your right side. Imagine the middle of your back and that intimate relationship between diaphragm and psoas. And psoas is big. It's like the size of your fist. And we're getting in touch with the right side, saying hello. It's like two different dates, perhaps. And see if you can breathe in a way that you're feeling your rib cage move. As you breathe in, there's a sense of expansion. Breathe out. Just that soft emptying, that gravitational flow downward. The inhalations, the levity. So saying hello first to right psoas. And then dropping the big toe side of the right foot to the ground. You might need to slide your left leg back just so it's out of the way. And begin to slide the right leg towards you and away from you. Keeping the big toe side down. So first, just that flexion of the hip. You'll feel the squeezing in the front of the hip and then sliding it out. Keep the leg heavy. Watch you're not trying to lift it up. Foot supported on the ground. So this is the main function of psoas, is to work as a hip flexor to bring that thigh towards your belly. But it also helps to take the leg away from the belly. So now, in addition to sliding towards you, as you're sliding, try to lift the inner knee or think of getting the pinky toe side down of the foot down to the ground and then slide it away. Might feel like a whole different course if you're having a meal at your date. See how that works for you. Stay present. Notice where you feel it. And if you want to add a little bit more of the lengthening of psoas, on the inhalation, you can take that right leg back behind you. Feel that open space in the front of the right hip. As you exhale, drop the foot down and slide it towards you. Inhale into the extension of the hip. Exhale, slide it towards you. You can add the head to this, just like your nose is following your toes on the inhale, and then the toes follow the nose on the exhale. Just letting the brain know that you feel comfortable and supported. Really go slow through this. Notice where the sticky spots are and pull it through slowly through the sticky spots. Taking a few more for this right side. How does the right side compare to the left side? Can you tell, is one side grumpier than the other, stickier? It's just a good thing for you to note. Oftentimes it's one side of the psoas that needs more hydrating, a little bit more attention. It's like the high maintenance date, and you just want to spend a little more time on it. And then just let the legs come together again. Stack them. You can make some circles with your right hip. Letting go of any tension. And then relaxing. We're going to do one more movement, and this one will roll onto our back side. And start by taking both legs out long so you can see how that feels for you now. We notice things with psoas like, is there any pulling in the low back when we extend the legs or in the front of the hip creases? And then bend your knees and place the feet on the ground about hip distance apart. Lift your tail just for a moment to get your low back down to the ground. And we're going to do some belly breaths. So if you're familiar with somatics and how we do the arch and curl, that's where we're going with this. But as you breathe into the belly, imagine the belly floating up and lifting the low back off the floor. And as you breathe out, press the low back and low ribs down and lift your tailbone just a little bit. So we inhale, the back will arch, belly floats up. Exhale, press the low back into the ground and the tailbone lifts up. The other way is to think of your pelvis like a bowl. You're tipping it forward and upward, the top rim of the pelvis on the inhale, and pushing it downward and back on the exhale. Do your best to keep your legs relaxed and make this more of movement from your pelvis. And think of both sides now, right and left of the psoas, back and forth. All right, then we're going to pause and we're going to work again with just the left side. So feel your left leg from the toes all the way through the hip crease. Now as you inhale, you're going to take the left leg up towards the sky. Let's just do that a few times in case we have any tightness in the hamstrings or anywhere else. As you exhale, slowly drop the leg down. So you do your best to keep your pelvis balanced on the ground and just inhale, leg up. And exhale, down. Do one more of those. Remember, this is a sweet date, not a workout. So now we're going to add on to that. You're going to inhale, extend the leg up. But as you exhale, flex that leg in and use as much power as you can. Draw the top of the foot towards the shin. Draw the back of the calf towards the thigh and the thigh towards your ribs. So really power it up. And then as you inhale, extend it up again. And exhale, take the foot down. And we'll do just those a few times. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, bend the knee, flex the hip. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, take the foot down. And you can play with the position of your ankle too. Do one or more of those. Inhale, up. Exhale, flex. And notice I'm not using my arms. You want to use your leg muscles and your psoas. Inhale, extend. Shoulders and jaw relaxed. Exhale, down. Let's add the last part in here now. So now inhale, extend up. Exhale, press low back, low ribs, and draw that leg in. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, foot down, but we'll add the next part. So now as you inhale, slide that left leg long on your mat, but let the back arch. Remember when we were letting the belly float up on the inhale? Let the back arch, belly float up. And then once the leg is long, exhale, push it into the ground, low back, low ribs. So you're doing that arch and curl. Inhale into the arch, exhale into the curl. And just doing that a few times. Inhaling and arching. Exhaling and curling. Slide the foot back to the ground. Pause for a moment with both knees bent. Another round. Inhale, leg goes up towards the sky. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale, extend to the sky. Exhale, slowly place the foot on the ground. Inhale, slide the leg out long, arch the back, lift the low back away from the floor. Exhale, curl, press low back and low ribs down, lift tailbone, and do that a few times. Inhale and arch. Exhale, curl. And notice what you feel in the front of your thigh and in your low back. So just a soothing little stretch. Think of it again like a hydration. The psoas is the muscle of your soul. Take the foot back. One more thing we can add, and this will just give you a little more stretch for the upper body, because if psoas is not hydrated, it can also cause tightness in the arms. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, squeeze the thigh in. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, let the foot come down. And now as you inhale and slide the foot out, also slide your left arm overhead. Feel the whole left side of the body, the whole waist arch away from the ground on the inhale. And as you exhale, push that left side body into the ground. Think of your left rib cage. Inhale, arch. And exhale, flatten it into the ground. Sometimes we call this arch and flatten too. Inhale, arch the left side. Exhale, flatten it. You can slide the arm back and the leg. And if there's too much pulling with the arm, continue to do just the lower half of the body first. We'll do one more round on this left side. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, foot to the ground. Inhale, slide the left leg out and arch. And you can also take your left arm overhead. Feel that whole left side arch away from the ground. Exhale, push the left side into the ground and curl. Take a few arches and curls. Let your head float freely. And if your head is following the rhythm of psoas, the nose will come towards your toes on the inhale and nose away from the toes on the exhale. If it's not happening naturally, you can voluntarily create that movement. Last one. Slide your arm down, bring your leg back. Actually, take both legs out. We'll take a pause in between here just to feel and see what is it that we're creating. How is this date going for you? And sense yourself from your left toes to your hip, all the way to the center of the spine, that 12th vertebrae. Think of your rib cage. And then your right leg. And just noticing any differences in the weight of the leg, the way the legs are touching the ground, the way the hips are touching the ground. Sensing the two sides. And then the last course here will be back to the right side. So you can visualize your right side psoas. Slide the feet in so that they're on the ground, both knees bent. Lengthen your tailbone. And sometimes your upper body needs to just adjust itself a little bit after that movement. Let it do that. And then once you're in a good space again, feel your right foot and leg. And we'll start with just inhaling, extending through the right leg. And exhale, place the foot down. Just that first, in case the hamstrings are reactive or the knee, because psoas can also cause tightness in the leg and the knee. Reaching out on the inhale and slowly falling with gravity on the exhale. Let's add the flexion. So inhale into your extension. Exhale. Draw that right leg in as tight as you can. I like to draw the top of the foot towards the shin, the back of the calf towards the thigh, and the thigh towards my rib cage. Feel the tailbone will naturally lift a little bit. Inhale, tailbone goes down as you extend the foot and leg. Exhale, drop it down. A few just there. Inhaling, extending. Exhaling, drawing in. Inhaling and extending, and exhaling down. So this is the workhorse part for the psoas. We're making it draw our leg in, and then we extend it up and drop it down. Let's add the soothing part for the psoas, where it gets to hydrate and stretch. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, flex it towards you. Inhale, back to the extension. Notice if it's getting easier too as you go on. Exhale, foot down. Now inhale, slide the leg out long, but arch your back. Let the belly float the low back off the ground. Feel yourself press into your tailbone. Once the leg is long, then exhale and curl. And inhale and arch. And exhale, curl, like you're pressing the right side of the back body into the ground and then lifting it away on the inhale. Slide the foot in, we'll do that again. Inhale, extend the leg up towards the sky. Exhale, squeeze it towards your body. Give those muscles a little bit of a job. Inhale, extend. Exhale, slowly let it come down with gravity. Inhale, slide the right leg out and arch the back. Exhale, curl, press the low back, especially that right side into the ground. Inhale, lift the right side, arch it. Exhale, curl it down. You can check and see if your head and your neck are responding. Again, nose towards the toes on the inhale and away from the toes on the exhale, like you had a string between your nose and your toes. Let's see if you want to add the arm in. I think I'm going to run into a large black dog, but we'll go for it. Inhale, extend the leg up. Exhale, squeeze it in. Make it work a little bit. Inhale, start the extension process upward first. Exhale, foot down to the ground. Now inhale, slide the right leg long, and you can take your right arm overhead. Feel the whole right side body arch away from the ground. Lift it even higher. Exhale, press that arch out. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, push down. So we want to think of making this movement from the torso and the pelvis. Keep the legs a little more relaxed and the arm relaxed. Slide it back in. Another repeat. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, squeeze it towards your body. Feel your tailbone lift. Inhale, extend the leg. You might feel your low back arch a little bit, just automatically. Exhale, let the leg come down. Inhale, slide the leg out, arch the back. You can take your arm overhead too. Exhale, curl. Inhale, arch. And exhale, curl. Last one. Take that down. And before we say goodnight to our dates, our right and left psoas, we're just going to take the legs long, shake them out for a moment, and then begin to slide both legs all the way over to the right side, but keep that left hip on the ground. Just feel that nice little stretch through your left side. If you want, you can also take your left arm overhead. If there's discomfort, you could have your hand on your shoulder. Feel the lengthening through the whole left side, from the toes to the fingers. But focus on the torso. Think of psoas attaching to the center of your spine, coming down through the lumbar spine, front of the pelvis. So you want to keep that left hip on the ground. If it's lifting up, just gently coax it down to the ground. But relax. Focus on your exhalation now. We'll take 5 rounds of breath. And thinking of the exhale, releasing the left side body into gravity. The arm and the leg, but especially the torso. The lengthening and the hydration now come not because you're doing, but because you're letting go, releasing into the ground as you breathe out. slowly come out of that left side. You can take your arm down if it was overhead. Slide your legs back to the center. Once you get back to the center, shift your hips, jelly roll your legs, and then just take just a few breaths in stillness to feel once again the left and the right side. Can you acknowledge that it feels different inside of you now? And is that difference one of comfort and spaciousness, of feeling satiated inside of your body? And then begin to slowly slide your legs, both of them, over to the left, and keep that right back hip bone down on the ground. So kind of reach, you can even reach through your outer right foot. Make that side bend. So you're compressing left side. You might reach your right arm overhead and lengthening that right side. Like any little adjustments so you can be here feeling harmonious, relaxed, completely supported. And do your best to stay present in the space from your toes to your fingers on your right side. Feel where your leg and your arm come into your torso, and then be present in the torso itself. Just acknowledging psoas muscle on the right and its lengthened state. Taking about 5 more rounds of breath and focusing on the breath out to let that right side just fall. Notice anywhere you're holding yourself or you're resisting the ground, and let the breath out release any of that resistance. Take your time, sliding yourself back. This time, once you get back, bend your knees. Before we finish, we'll move both sides together again, just in that arch and curl. So knees bent, feet on the floor. Inhale, find your arch. You might even press your shoulder blades into the ground. Exhale, curl, lift the outer shoulder blades. Inhale, arch, tongue towards your tail. Exhale, curl, tongue away from the tail. And you can do a few with your knees bent. And then take your legs long and see how it feels to do both sides. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curl. So trying to lift the back and spine away from the ground as you breathe in, and you'll be resting on your tailbone and your shoulder blades at the top of the inhale. Exhale. You'll feel the center of the spine. Think of that 12th vertebrae like you're pressing it into the ground. Tailbone lifts, shoulder blades lift. Just a few there. And then letting go. And take a moment for yourself before you completely end your date. Notice how it felt. That's what Psoas will remember. It'll remember what it felt like to be moving, to go through its range of motion. And it relays that to all of the other muscles, to the tissues of the body. Begin to just wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can move your head side to side. Offer your date some sort of compliment. At least say thank you. And then take a big full body yawn. Reach for your toes and your arms, arch your back. Full breath in. Exhale. Perfect, Milo. Thank you. Let it all go. And take your time. You can roll to one side. Thanks for joining me for that Psoas practice. I hope it did feel like a very comfortable and sweet date for you and your Psoas. Peace, joy, love, and light.